Hello my dear students, my name is Anish Jain and on behalf of Narayana Educational Institutions I will be discussing the JEE mains paper which was held on 24th January and it was the first shift. So it is a memory based question paper, so the questions may or may not be the actual question that you have got. So let's begin. The first question is, the kinetic energy of a particle is 1000 joule. The mass is 2 kg. Then find the momentum for the particle. You know the relation between kinetic energy and momentum, right? And the relation is the kinetic energy equals P square by 2m. Or I can write the momentum is root over 2mk. Now they have given you the mass 2 kg. They have given you the kinetic energy which is 1000 joules. So what will be the momentum in that case? So when I put the values, finally I'll get the kinetic energy, the momentum for the particle is 200 kg meter per second. Let's go to the next question then. So in this question, what is given to you? A particle is projected vertically upwards. So a particle is projected vertically upwards and it reaches a height of, or they have given to you the H max. It reaches a height of 136 meters. Then what will be the maximum range for the particle if it is projected with the same speed? So this particle is projected with the same speed, let's call it u, and let's say this is the range of the particle. Let's say this is the range of the particle, and you know the formula for range is u square sine 2 theta by g. The range is maximum when sine 2 theta will become 1. So basically the maximum range R max is equal to u square by g. Now it is given to you that the maximum height rise by the particle if it is projected with a speed u is 136 meter. Now you know the formula for H max, it is u square by 2g. So according to question, u square by 2g is 136 meter. So if u square by 2g is 136 meter, then what will be u square by g? So it will be 272 meter. So the correct answer is option number 1. Okay, so let's go to the next question then. So in this question it is given that this is a system where this particle is performing SHM and they are asking you the time period of SHM. So what to do here? So let's say these two springs, the spring constants are already given. So let's draw the FBD of this block if it is displaced by a distance x. So if this is displaced by a distance x, so at this position what is the FBD of the block? So this is the 2 kg block. This spring is getting stretched by x. So there will be a spring force K1x, let's call this K1, let's call this K2. The second spring is getting compressed by a distance x. So if the second spring is getting compressed by a distance x, that means the spring force will act such that it will try to stretch the spring. So that means the spring force on the 2 kg block is in the same direction, K2x. Also, if I draw the equivalent spring, this is the equivalent spring. So if the equivalent spring also stretches by the same distance x, so if the equivalent spring also stretches by the same distance x, so the net tension here, let's call it T, let's call this T1, let's call this T2, So I will say T has to be equal to T1 plus T2. So if T equals T1 plus T2, which implies K equivalent into X equals K1X plus K2X. X cancelled, which implies K equivalent equals K1 plus K2. Fine. So basically these two springs are behaving like they are in parallel. Okay, so you should remember this point, that whenever there is same stretch or compression in both the springs, then these two springs are in parallel, and you know that in parallel the spring K equivalent is K1 plus K2. So here they have given the values of K1 and K2. So if I add them, I'll get 40 Newton per meter. Now once I got the K equivalent, now what is the time period? The time period, you know, in an SHM system is 2 pi root over m by K equivalent. So this is 2 pi root over mass is 2 kg, K equivalent is 40. So if I take this 2 inside, I'll get pi by root 5. So that means your answer will be here x equal to 5. Okay. In this question, they have asked us what is the tension in the string if all the surfaces are smooth. So all the surfaces here are smooth, the string is massless and the pulley is also massless. Fine. So what we will do here, I'll take the two block system. This is the 1 kg block and this is the 4 kg block, and here the force is 10 into sine 60 mg sine 60, and here the force is 4 into 10 into sine 30. Sine 30 is half. So that means the net force is, this is 20 and this is 5 root 3. So I'll get net force 20 minus 5 root 3 equals 5a. So that means the acceleration is, when I solve it, I'll get 4 minus root 3. So this is the acceleration of the system. Now to find the tension, what I will do, I'll draw the FBD of one of the blocks. So let's draw the FBD of the 1 kg block here. So here the force is 1 into 10 into sine 60, that is root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2, and the force here is the tension force. Now I did not draw the tension force here because it was an internal force. So internal force need not to be drawn in the FBD. So now when I take the 1 kg system only, then this tension is an external force. Now the acceleration of the 1 kg block is in this direction. That means tension should be greater than the gravity. So I'll write T minus 5 root 3 should be balanced by MA, or I can say T minus 5 root 3 should be equal to MA, where M is 1 and the acceleration which I have already calculated is 4 minus root 3, and from here I will get T equals 4 root 3 plus 4, and this will be the answer. Okay. So now let's go to the next question, and the next question is, we need to find the radius of gyration of a solid sphere about this axis. Now this is the solid sphere. They have given us the radius of the solid sphere is 5 centimeter and this distance is 10 centimeter. So they have given the radius of gyration in this form, and from here we need to find x. So I know the moment of inertia of a solid sphere about an axis passing through the center. This one is 2 by 5 mr square. And by parallel axis theorem, I can say I about PQ will be equal to 2 by 5 mr square plus md square, where this is d, by parallel axis theorem. So now you can just write from here d equals 2r, because this is 10 centimeter, this is 5 centimeter, so I can just write d equal to 2r. So I about PQ will be equal to 2 by 5 mr square plus m 4r square. So from here I will get I about the axis PQ equals 22 mr square by 5. So once I get the moment of inertia about PQ, I can just equate it with mk square, where k is the radius of gyration. So once I solve this, I will get k equals root over 110 by 5 into r. So basically our answer will be x here will be 110. Okay, let's go to the next question. Now this is a very simple question here, and in this question they have given to you the equation of the wave and they are asking the velocity of the wave. Now if I compare it with the standard wave equation, I'll get k equals 2 and omega equals 4, and we know that the wave velocity is omega by k. So that is equal to 4 by 2, and that is equal to 2 meter per second. Okay, so this is the answer. Let's go to the next question. Now in this question they have given to you that there is a hydrogen atom and the first wavelength of Paschen series is this. So first line means 3 to 4. First line of Paschen series means what? Going from 3 to 4. Then find out the second line wavelength of the same series. So second line means 3 to 5. Now I know that 1 by lambda is proportional to 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Fine. So I'll just write 1 by 720 is proportional to 1 by 9 minus 1 by 16. Similarly, 1 by lambda, which I need to find out for the second line, will be from 3 to 5. So will be proportional to 1 by 9 minus 1 by 25. When I divide the two, I'll get lambda by 720 equals, so here LCM 16 minus 9 by 9 into 16 divided by LCM 9 into 25, 25 minus 9. Okay, so from here when I solve for lambda, I'll get lambda equals 70.31 nanometer. Okay, so if the first line wavelength is 720 nanometer, according to this question the second line wavelength will be 70.31 nanometer. Okay, so now let's go to the next question. In this question they have given you a current carrying coil. It's a circular coil, radius is r, and they are asking us the ratio of the magnetic field at the center of this coil and at any point on the axis which is at a distance r from the coil. So I need to find the magnetic field here, which you already know. The formula is mu naught I by 2r. Mu naught I by 2r. And what is the formula on the axis? So for the formula on the axis of a coil, B equals mu naught Ni r square divided by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. Now in this question n is 1 because there is only one loop, n is the number of loops. Okay, so if I put x equal to r, what will I get? So I'll get, for this case, I'll get B equals mu naught I r square divided by r square plus r square 2r square whole power 3 by 2. So basically I will get B equals mu naught I r square by root 2r whole cube. Okay, and here the magnetic field here is mu naught I by 2r. So if I divide this 2, I'll get 2 root 2. So this will be the answer. Fine. Okay, let's go to the next question. In this question, it is given that there are two charges Q1 and Q2. So let's draw the two charge first, Q1 and Q2. Okay, and it is placed in a medium whose dielectric constant is K. And the separation between the two charges is given to you as D, and the resultant force on any charge is F naught. Now if both the charges are placed in air, then what should be the separation between them so that they experience the same force? Okay, so you know that if the charges are placed in a medium, then the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges is given by K Q1 Q2 by, or K can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square and divided by the dielectric constant. Now if they are placed in air, then the same force between two charges will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by d dash square, where d dash is the distance between the two charges if they are placed in air. Okay, now according to question, they experience same force. So if they experience same force, that means these two are equal. So if I equate these two, I can clearly see d dash square will be equal to k d square. That means d dash should be equal to root k into d. So your answer will be 3, root k into d. Let's go to the next question. So in this question, we are being given two wires. Okay, you can say two infinite wires, both carries same current 10 ampere and they are separated by a distance of 10 centimeter. Fine. So if a magnetic force on the 10 centimeter portion of one wire is F1, so any one wire they have taken, and on this wire on a 10 centimeter portion the force is F1. Now the distance between them is halved and the current is doubled. So now they have doubled the current in both the wires and they have reduced the distance to half. So in this case, what will be the force on the same portion of the wire? Okay, so you know that the force formula between two wires, two infinite wires, mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi d, where d is the separation between the two wires into the length of the segment. Okay, so this is force on one of the segment. Now basically I can say from here that the force is directly proportional to I square by d, because both have same current. So I can just write I1 I2 as I square. So force is proportional to I square by d. That means F1 by F2 should be equal to I1 square by d1 into d2 by I2 square. So F1 by F2 I need to find out, okay, is equal to, so now they have doubled the current. So if they have doubled the current, that means I1 by I2 is half, and they have reduced the distance to half. That means D1 by D2 is 2, because the new distance is half the old distance. So when I do F1 by F2, I'll get I1 by I2 whole square into D2 by D1. Now I1 by I2 whole square means 1 by 4, and D2 by D1 is half, that means 1 by 8. So that means I will get F2 equals 8 F1. So they have asked you the new force F2 is x times F1, so that means the value of x is equal to 8. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. In this question we have a circular loop of this much radius, and it is placed in a time varying magnetic field which is uniform. Okay. The field is perpendicular to the plane. The field is perpendicular to the plane. Okay. Now if the field decreases, if the field decreases from 0.5 Tesla to if the field decreases from 0.5 Tesla to 0 in 0.5 second, then what is the EMF induced in this much in 0.25 second? Fine. So what I will do here, you know that the average EMF induced equal to flux final minus flux initial divided by the time. Now the flux, so I'll just write the magnitude, I just need the magnitude. So now the final flux is 0, the initial flux is B into area. So the magnetic field initial is 0.5 Tesla, and from here I'll get the area. So I'll write 0.5 multiplied by area is pi into 10 by root pi whole square, and because it is in centimeter, so let's convert it into SI unit, 10 raised to the power minus 4. Okay. Divided by the time taken is 0.25 seconds. So when I solve this, I'll just write the magnitude, I'll just remove this minus sign here. So 0.5 into pi into 100 by pi into 10 raised to the power minus 4 divided by 0.25. Actually, because it reduces to 0 in 0.5 second, let's take 0.5 seconds here. So I'll just take 0.5 seconds here, because it reduces to 0 in 0.5 seconds. So I'll get from here, this is equal to 100 into 10 raised to power minus 4, I can call it 10 millivolt. Okay. Again, let me repeat that these are all memory based questions, and this may or may this may be same as the actual question or may be different from the actual question. So now let's go to the next question. In this question we have two statements, and we have to check whether these statements are true or false. So the statement 1 is, when light is incident from air to water, so light is incident from air to water, basically it means from rarer to denser, okay. So when light is incident from air to water, the Brewster's angle is theta b. Then if light is incident from water to air, then what will be the Brewster's angle? Okay. So now you know that the Brewster's angle is calculated this way. So the Brewster's angle is also called as the polarizing angle. So let's say this is the polarizing angle theta I, and we say that the reflected ray is plane polarized if the angle between the reflected ray and the refracted ray is 90 degrees. So if this is 90 degrees, this angle is theta, then this angle is 90 minus theta, this angle is r, then this angle is 90 minus r. Theta is the angle of incidence. So 90 minus theta plus 90 minus r should be 90 degree. In that case only this angle theta will be the Brewster's angle. So from here I will get 90 cancelled, theta plus r equals 90 degree. Okay. So now listen, if this is air water and this is water air, fine. So if this is water air, then this time this angle theta, let's call this angle as theta dash, and this angle as r dash, fine. But theta dash plus r dash would still be equal to 90 degree from here only. From this relation only, same thing we can derive here, theta dash plus r dash equal to 90 degree. So now what they are saying is, if see, if this is theta, this is r, same way here these two will reverse. That means if this is r, this will be theta. So basically I can say that here theta equals 90 minus r, and here theta dash equals 90 minus r dash, but 90 minus r dash will also be equal to 90 minus theta. So basically the statement here which says that if the Brewster's angle in this case, this theta value is theta b, then the Brewster's angle in this case has to be 90 minus theta b. So the first statement is correct. Now coming to the second statement, when light goes from one medium to other medium, so the refractive index is mu, then the Brewster's angle will be tan inverse mu. So let's calculate. From here only I can calculate. I'll apply Snell's law here. Let's call this 1, let's call this mu. Then I will get 1 into sin I, that is sin I is theta, equals mu into sin r. Fine. And sin r can be written as cos theta. Why? Because r is 90 minus theta, so sin r is cos theta. Sin of 90 minus theta is cos theta. So from here I will get tan theta equals mu, or theta equals tan inverse mu. So that's what they have stated. This second statement is also correct, because they have asked you the Brewster's angle, and Brewster's angle is theta b equals tan inverse mu. So I will say first option here is both the statement 1 and 2 is true. So basically the first option is correct. Okay. Let's go to the next question. In this question they have given the cylinder has inner radius 2 millimeter and outer radius 4 millimeter. So this is the cylinder, they have given to you the inner radius as well as the outer radius. The resistivity of the material is rho. The length is 3.14 meters. Okay, they have given to you the value of rho, which is 2.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. Then what is the resistance between the two ends? So you know that the resistance between the two ends will be given by rho L by A, where A is the area of cross section, L is the length of the conductor. L is what? The length of the conductor. So they have given to you everything. So what is the area of cross section first? So see, this part is hollow. The charge is flowing in this region. So area of cross section means the area which is perpendicular to the flow of charge. So the charge is flowing this way. So basically I need this area. So what is this area? Area is pi into 4 square minus 2 square into 10 raised to the power minus 6. Why 10 raised to the power minus 6? Because they have given to you the radius in millimeter. So 1 millimeter I am converting into SI unit. Okay, so this will be in meter square. So I will get pi into 16 minus 4, that is 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. Okay, so now what is the resistance? Rho is 2.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 multiplied by length. What is length? 3.14, which is also equal to pi, divided by pi into 12 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. Pi cancelled, fine, and this will come out to be 24 by 12, which is equal to 2. So the resistance between the two ends will be 2. Okay, again I'll repeat, this questions are memory based questions. JEE mains have not released the question paper yet. These questions are the questions which we have heard from the students who have attempted this paper. Okay, so now let's go to the next question. So in this question they have given the weight of an object on earth is 18 Newton. Then what will be the weight of the same object at a height of 3200 kilometer from the earth's surface? Now for solving this question, we first need what is the radius of earth. So the radius of earth is 6400 kilometer. That means the height that they have given is nothing but r by 2. R is the radius of the earth. So what is the formula for acceleration due to gravity at any height? It is gm by r plus h whole square. That will be equal to gm by r plus r by 2, that is 3r by 2 whole square, that is 9r square by 4. So this is the gravity at that height, and gravity on the surface of earth will be gm by r square. So that means g surface by gh equals gm by r square divided by 4gm by 9r square. So I can write this as 9r square by 4gm. Gm r square cancelled. That means the gravity at height h is 4 by 9 times the gravity on the surface of earth. So if I multiply it with mass, then according to question this value is 18 Newton. So if this value is 18 Newton, then what is this value? 4 by 9 into 18, which is equal to 8. So what is the weight at 3200 kilometer? I will say my answer is 8 Newton. Okay, let's go to the next question. Find the value of current I4 and I5. So this is I4, this is I5. Okay, and this is a very simple series parallel combination. You can clearly see these two are in parallel, these two are in parallel, and the resultant all of them are in series. So first I will say this two resultant is 1, this is 3, this two resultant I will find out 1 by R equivalent equals 1 by 5 plus 1 by 20, which will give you LCM. Let's take 20, 4 plus 1, 5 by 20. From here I will get R equivalent equals 4. So this two together will give you 4. This is 1, this is 3. So total R equivalent will be 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 3. All are in series. So what will be the R equivalent then? The R equivalent will be 1 plus 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12. So R equivalent is equal to 12. Now once I get the R equivalent, then the EMF of the battery is 24. So what will be the current flowing through the battery, or from the battery I can say? The current flowing from the battery is 24 divided by 12, which is 2 amperes. Fine. So the current flowing from here is 2 ampere, which is divided here again 2 ampere, and here the current will be divided. Now in parallel the current divides in the inverse ratio of resistance. So I'll say here this 2 ampere will be divided between these two. Let's call this I4, let's call this I5. So I'll say I4 by I5 equals 20 by 5, because there is inverse ratio. So from here I'll get 4 by 1. So, and I4 plus I5 is how much? I4 plus I5 is equal to 2. So then what will be the value of I4? Value of I4 will be 4 by 5 into 2, which is 8 by 5. And what will be the value of I5? Which will be 1 by 5 into 2, which will be 2 by 5. So I4 will be 8 by 5, I5 will be 2 by 5. So this is the answer. Okay, again this is a memory based question, and the actual question may be different from the one we are discussing. That we will know only after JEE Mains release the question paper. Alright, so now let's look at this question. In this question it is given that in a photodiode the intensity of light is measured while reverse biasing the photodiode. Yeah, this is a correct statement. Why this is a correct statement? See, in a photodiode, what is the use of a photodiode, or what is the purpose of a photodiode? The photodiode is used to detect the intensity of light. So it's a special purpose PN junction diode where, so let me draw the diode. So this is the special purpose PN junction diode, and the light is falling on this. Fine. Now as light falls on the PN junction, electron hole pairs are generated. These electron hole pairs behaves like minority charge carriers, and they will increase the current, and this increase in current is, let's say, in microamperes. The increase in current is in microampere. Okay. Now what happens is, if this was in forward bias, the emitter that I would use here will be a milliammeter, because in forward bias the current is in milliammeter. Okay. So this due to this light, falling light, the current will change, but this milliammeter may not be able to detect that change, because milliammeter measures current in the range of milliamperes, and this current change or increase is only in microamperes. So that is why we do not use forward bias, because in forward bias the current already will be very high, and a small change in current will not or may not be detected properly. So the sensitivity will be less. That's why if you want to detect the intensity is detected with the help of the change in current. In reverse bias, the current is already in microampere and the change in current is also in microampere. So, the microammeter placed there will be able to detect the minute change in current, and from that change in current you measure the intensity. So, that is why in a photodiode the intensity of the light is measured in reverse bias only. So, the first statement is true. The second statement, forward bias current is more than reverse bias current, that is what I told, forward bias current is more. So, the second statement is also correct. Okay. So, that is why we do not use it in a photodiode. So, both the statements are true, the answer is 2. In this question it is given that a force of 250 Newton is applied on a wire as shown. The Young's modulus of the wire is given, the area of the cross section of the wire is given, and the length of the wire is given, and we need to find the extension in the spring, or basically the extension in the rod they are asking. So, the extension in the rod delta L will be equal to FL by AY. Delta L will be equal to what? FL by AY. Okay. So, that means the force is 250, the length is 100, area of cross section is 6.25 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 meter square, all given in SI unit only, and the Young's modulus is 10 raised to the power 10. Okay. So, if I solve this, I will get, so they are asking the extension in centimeter, you must remember, but this will give me an answer in meters. So, 25 into 10 cube, 25 into 10 cube divided by, I can say 625 into, so if I have written it as 625, this will become 10 raised to power minus 6. So, 625 into 10 raised to power minus 6 into 10 raised to power 10 becomes 10 raised to the power 4. In this question it is given, there are different physical quantities here on one side, on one column, and the second column you have the dimensions. So, just we have to match the dimensions. So, first one is the Planck's constant. Fine. So, what is Planck's constant? You can use the relation E equals HF. You can use the relation E equals HF. So, E equals HF. So, E is ml square T minus 2 and F dimension, the frequency dimension is T minus 1. So, what will be the dimension of H? The dimension of H will be ml square T minus 2 plus 1 becomes T minus 1. Okay. So, here the answer is printed mistake, M1 L2, and this will be T minus 1. Okay. Then the second one is momentum. Momentum we know is mass into velocity. So, the mass dimension m, velocity dimension L T minus 1. So, I can say it is m1 L1 T minus 1. So, this one, this one. Then the next one is the stopping potential. The dimension of stopping potential will be same as the dimension of potential. So, you know the potential is work done per unit charge. Now, the dimension of work is same as the dimension of energy, ml square T minus 2 divided by the charge. The charge is ampere into time. The charge is ampere into time. So, what will be the dimension of the potential? ml square A minus 1 T minus 3. That means this one. And the last one is the work function. The work function has the same unit as energy, because you know E equals phi plus Ke max. Only similar physical quantities can be added or subtracted. So, the work function will have the same dimension as energy. So, that will be ml square T minus 2. So, what should be your answer? You can see for A it is Q, for B it is P, for C it is S, and for D it is R. So, basically your answer is 1. Okay. Now, let us go to the next question. In the next question, it is given that we have an electromagnetic wave whose propagation vector is k vector. So, basically the wave is propagating along the direction of k vector. and the electric field is E vector. Omega is the angular frequency, then the value of the magnetic field is. So if I need the magnitude, then you know that E equals, or I can say C equals E by B, okay, and also the wave velocity is omega by k, where k is again the magnitude of the propagation vector. So from here I will get, because they have asked me the magnitude of the magnetic field, I will say the magnitude of the magnetic field is E k by omega, but I also need the direction. So to find the direction, I know that the propagation vector should be along E cross B. In the same way, we can show that the magnetic field vector will be along K cross E. The magnetic field will be along K cross E. So I can just write this as 1 by omega into K cross E. So if I just need the direction will be along K cross E, okay, and the magnitude of the magnetic field with the direction if I want, then I will have 1 by omega K cross E, okay. Let's go to the next question. In this question, we have been given a signal wave, which is a square wave, and it is superimposed with a carrier wave. The carrier wave is given to you as 2 sine omega ct minus kx. Then what is the modulation index of the amplitude modulated wave? Now you know that the amplitude modulated wave, the modulation index is given by the amplitude, mu is given by the amplitude of the message signal divided by the amplitude of the carrier wave, and from here I can clearly see the amplitude of the message signal is 1 and the amplitude of the carrier wave is 2. So the modulation index will be 1 by 2, okay. Let's proceed to the next question. What is given in this question? Again, it's a true and false type question where they have given to you 2 statements, and let's read the first statement then. The temperature of a gas is increased from minus 73 degree. So if I convert it into Kelvin, it will be 200 Kelvin to 527 degrees. That means if I convert it into Kelvin, it will be 800 Kelvin. Then what will what they are asking you, that if the temperature is increased, the RMS velocity becomes double, okay. So the gas they have kept fixed, that means the velocity is directly proportional to the root of temperature. So I can say V1 by V2 is equal to root over 200 by 800, that is half. So yes, the RMS value has doubled. So the first statement is correct. The second statement is the product of pressure and volume is equal to translational kinetic energy of an ideal gas. So the product of pressure and volume definitely has unit of energy, but you remember the translational kinetic energy is not PV but 3 by 2 PV. So I will say this statement is wrong. So your answer will be statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false. So your answer will be C, okay. All right. So let's go to the next question. In this question they have asked us the ratio of the quality factor and the bandwidth for this circuit. So first let's find out what is the value of the bandwidth. So the angular bandwidth, we know the angular bandwidth, so if I draw the diagram of resonance, this is the half power frequencies or half power angular frequencies, and this is the bandwidth, okay. So now I am not deriving it, but you should remember that the bandwidth or the angular bandwidth is equal to R by L. So the angular bandwidth is equal to R by L. So let's find the value of the angular bandwidth. The resistance is 5 divided by divided by the value of L is 0.2. Okay. Now, then the next one is quality factor. Now, what is quality factor? The quality factor is the resonance frequency, the angular resonance frequency divided by the angular bandwidth, omega naught L by R. Okay. So, that means omega naught is 1 by root LC. The resonance angular frequency is 1 by root LC. So, I will just write here 1 by root LC into L by R. So, how much will I get? I will get 1 by R root over L by C. Fine. Okay. So, first let me find this value. This will be 5 into 10 by 2, which is 25, and this will be 1 by R, that is 1 by 5 root over L by C. L by C, L is 0.2, sorry, 0.2, and C is also 0.2, but C is 0.2 microfarad, right? So, C is 0.2 microfarad. So, I will write into 10 raised to the power 6 here. So, from here I will get these two cancelled. I will get 1000 by 5, 200. Fine. So, now they have asked you the ratio of the quality factor and the bandwidth. So, the quality factor is 200 divided by bandwidth is 25. So, how much I will get? 25 by 200, which is 8. So, the quality factor is to the bandwidth will come out to be 8. Okay. Let us go to the next question. In this question, we have been given that there is a radioactive substance X84218 which undergoes the following decay. Now, before starting the question, you must remember that in an alpha decay, the mass number decrease by 4 and the charge number decrease by 2. Okay? And in a beta minus decay, the mass number remains the same, but the charge number increase by 1. Okay? So, here Z increase by 1. And in a beta plus decay, mass number remains the same, but charge number decrease by 1. Okay. So, if I look at this product, it will be A. The charge number decrease by 2 and the mass number decrease by 4. Then there is a beta minus decay from where I got B, and mass number will remain the same and charge number will increase by 1. Then it undergoes an alpha decay again and it gives you a product C, and this will become 83. From 83 it will become 81 because charge number decreased by 2 and mass number decreased by 4. And then we have a beta plus decay in which the mass number will not change and the charge number will decrease by 1. So, from here I will get the new element D, which is 80, 210, and gamma decay does not change the charge number or mass number. So, the final product is something like this, 80 and 210, which will give you this. Okay. So, now let us go to the next question, and in this question it is given to you that there is a 1 gram liquid which is converted into vapor under this pressure. Okay. 10% of the heat is converted to, or it is required to expand. That means this is work done. Okay. So, what is the work done first? Work done is P delta V. Now, according to question, the volume increased by 1600 centimeter cube and the pressure is 3 into 10 raised to the power 5. So, I will write the work done as P, which is 3 into 10 raised to the power 5 into volume volume which is 1600 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter cube, because I'll write in SI unit. Okay, so finally I'll get 3 into 16 into this one becomes 10 raised to power minus 1 and into 10. I can write it this way. Okay, so this will come out to be 480 joules. Now according to question, this is 10% of the heat. So according to question, 10 by 100 of the heat is work. That means the heat is 4800 joules. The heat is what? 4800 joules. Now they have not asked me heat, but they have asked me the internal energy, right? They have asked me the internal energy. Now I know that this Q divides by first law of thermodynamics between delta U and W. Now if W is 10%, that means the remaining 90% of the heat is required to convert or to increase the internal energy. So basically 90% of the heat is delta U. So delta U equals 9 by 10 into 4800, and that will come out to be 4320. Okay, so this is the answer. This is the increase in internal energy. Clear? The next question here is, choose the correct option based on the following statements. Okay, the first option is photoelectric effect is explained by wave theory. Obviously it is wrong. The wave theory explains interference, the wave theory explains diffraction, the wave theory explains polarization, but the photoelectric effect is explained by the particle nature of light. Okay, so the first statement is incorrect. The second statement is stopping potential may depend on the work function. Now they have written the word may, but you know by Einstein's photoelectric effect equation, E equals phi plus Ke max. So, and Ke max is directly related to the stopping potential. So I can say E equals phi plus EVS. So Vs equals E minus phi by E. So clearly you can see that stopping potential will depend on the work function. Okay, so that means if they have written may, I will say it is incorrect. The next option is, if the intensity of light increases, then the photoelectric current also increases. Now this statement is only partially correct. Why? Because see, you know that if intensity plays a role only if the incident energy is greater than the work function. If the incident energy is not more than the work function, in that case current will not flow at all, whatever may be the intensity. Okay, so that means if photoelectric effect is occurring, that means if E is greater than phi, then I can say that intensity of light increase means more number of photons striking. More number of photons striking means more electrons are coming out. More electrons are coming out means more photocurrent. Okay, so the statement properly, if they have written, it should have been, if intensity of light increases, then photoelectric effect or photoelectric current also increases, provided E is greater than phi. Now again, this is a memory based paper, so I cannot comment on whether the actual option that was given was this only. So I think that if we have to correct this, then we should write provided E greater than phi. So let's assume this to be correct. Fine. Then the next option is, if intensity of light increases, then the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectron also increases. Now this statement is definitely incorrect, because everybody must know the Einstein's photoelectric effect is E equals phi plus Ke max. Now this Ke max depends on the energy of the incident photon and the work function, and it has nothing to do with intensity. So Ke max does not depend on intensity. So this statement is also incorrect. So I would say that the correct answer is C. But yes, again they should mention here, provided E is greater than phi, that is the energy of the incident photon is greater than the work function. Otherwise whatever may be the intensity of light, photoelectric effect will not occur only. That means the intensity will not change the current, it will remain 0 only. Okay. Now let's go to the next question, and this is a question based on vectors, and it's a very simple question where they have told you that these two vectors A and B are perpendicular to each other. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, that means their dot product should be 0. That's it. I'll do the dot product of these two vectors. So I'll get 3 I cap minus 2 j cap plus b k cap dot product with a I cap plus 7 by 2 j cap plus 2 k cap equals 0. So when I solve it, I'll get 3a minus 7 plus 2b equals 0, or 3a plus 2b equals 7. Okay. And they have also given to you that 2a minus 3b equals minus 4. When I solve these two equations, I get a equal to 1 and b equal to 2. So what is a by b? X by 2, that means x has to be 1. X has to be 1. Okay. Thank you all of you. So these are the questions that we have received from our students. This is a memory based paper. We could receive 26 questions, and we are discussing